welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sanivira Singh. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stresses that China fully admitted that security aspects of Hambantota port must remain with the Sri Lankan government. Consumer Affairs Authority yesterday gazetted the maximum retail price of 2 varieties of rice. News in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stresses that the management of the Hambantota port will not be renegotiated since it is a commercial contract, but that the government will retain control of all security aspects of the port. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa made these clarifications on the Hambantota port to Colombo-based foreign correspondents yesterday.
Will you be renegotiating the Hambantota port deal? And if so, what do you propose changed?
No, we are looking at it because we don't. In fact, the SLPP, that's as a party, we protested, as you all know, when this was signed at that time for this action. But it's not renegotiation. Now it's a commercial contract. I'm not worried about the commercial contract. It has been signed. But I am worried about the security, whether there are any security lapses. Those are the things that I am going through and discussing with them, not the commercial aspects of it.
Moreover, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa added that he also engaged in a dialogue with the Chinese authorities and they admitted that the security aspects on the Hambantota port bestowed on the Sri Lankan government.
You wanted vital infrastructure like ports to be controlled by the state.
Yes.
So with Hambantota,
yes,
it's on a very long lease, and you were talking about you don't want to pass it on to another generation. So how would you deal with that aspect?
No, see, what I am studying is whether the control is like the other ports. You know, that's anywhere is the same. Especially this border control is with the government, sovereign government. So we want to see whether that is. First thing is whether that is with us. So if that control is with us, you know, that who decides what ships comes in. Like the Colombo port, that authority must be with us. The commercial part being having with it's no problem. They have already negotiated with the government and they have come into an agreement. That is commercial aspect. I can't change. But my concern is where there are adequate protection from the security side. So I'm sure I have spoken with the Chinese authorities also. They are also agreeable that the security aspects must be, you know, with Sri Lankan government. So I am looking at what are these security part of it, and I'm concerned about that.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stresses that the Geneva resolution cannot be entertained in its current standing. Speaking to the foreign correspondents at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also added that government cannot allow any harm to the soldiers or the independence of the country.
Would you call for a change in the Geneva resolution?
That we have, again, we are studying this, what we should do in March. But my thinking is we can't go by that agreement because we, as a country, we can't go that they have agreed on things which we can't fulfill. That's not right. We have to protect our soldiers and also our independence. We can't allow certain things we don't agree in that agreement. Personally, being a person in the army and the Secretary Defense during that time, so I can't agree for those things especially.
Foreign Secretary Ravinatha Aryasinghe says the operationalization of the recently developed Revitalized Africa policy seeks to enhance Sri Lanka's cooperation in the political, economic and cultural spheres across Africa. The Foreign Secretary made these observations last week, addressing a group of scholars at the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs in Cairo. Foreign Secretary Ravinatha Aryasinghe addressed a representative group of scholars at the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs in Cairo, presided over by Chairman of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mounir Zahran, on the theme Sri Lanka-Egypt relations and strengthening Sri Lanka's relations with the African continent. The envisaged measures for closer engagement are the expansion of Sri Lanka's diplomatic presence in Africa, stronger and mutually productive economic collaboration, revitalization of the historic people-to-people links, and close cooperation in multilateral and regional organizations. The policy document of Revitalized Africa policy aims to optimize the strategic linkages through proximity to the Indian Ocean, centrality of Sri Lanka's location, and cooperation through the 54-member African Union, where Sri Lanka received observer status in 2014. Revitalized Africa policy is a policy document prepared by the Foreign Relations Ministry in consultations with Sri Lankan line agencies, Colombo-based Africa diplomatic representations and honorary consuls, Sri Lankan missions and honorary consuls in Africa, and the Lakshman Kadiragama Institute. During discussions, the Foreign Secretary also noted that once implemented, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement will add further stimulus to the trade and investment relationship. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Finance Ministry stresses that Sri Lankan authorities reiterate that the recent rating action by Fitch Ratings revising Sri Lanka's outlook to negative has been hastily done without considering facts on the ground. Issuing a statement, Fitch Ratings recently noted that revision of the outlook to negative from stable sheds light on rising risk to debt sustainability from a significant shift in fiscal policy and the potential for rollback of fiscal and economic reforms in the aftermath of November's presidential elections. Thus, it shows that Fitch Ratings is on the view that the departure from the previous revenue-based fiscal consolidation path has created policy uncertainty and increased external financing risk for the sovereign, particularly given the large external debt repayments due in 2020 and beyond. Moreover, the statement says Fitch's preliminary estimates show that the VAT rate change and the scrapping of the nation-building tax could alone lower revenue by as much as 2% of GDP in the absence of offsetting measures. VAT accounted for 24% of government revenues in 2018. Meanwhile, replying to the statement of Fitch Ratings, the Finance Ministry said that the Fitch Ratings has hastily done without considering facts on the ground. Finance Ministry went on to say that the rating decision was mainly based on the hypothesis that Sri Lanka would shift away from the revenue-based fiscal consolidation stance, thereby causing risk to debt sustainability. The authorities would like to stress that such a hypothesis is grossly ill-informed, as the Fitch's estimate on the fiscal impact of the recent tax changes announced by the government are based on erroneously and linear assumptions, local ministry noted. Ministry also added that what is lacking throughout the Fitch's analysis is the impact of offsetting measures that the government is undertaking to meet any revenue loss and lack of due recognition of the favourable macroeconomic impact that such policies would deliver over the medium term. The Consumer Affairs Authority yesterday gazetted the maximum retail price of two varieties of rice. Hence, as per the extraordinary gazette notification, white and red samba and white and red nadu cannot be offered or displayed for sale above the maximum retail price. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa went on an inspection tour in the Special Economic Centre in Narayapeta last Wednesday. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa advised Consumer Affairs Authority to take immediate steps to enforce the declared maximum retail prices and ensure uninterrupted market supply of essential goods during this festive season in which consumers are vulnerable to market manipulation. Subsequently, issues pertaining to prices of rice had taken place since some millers had sold rice at exorbitant prices without paying heed to the recent gazette issued by Consumer Affairs Authority, which claims that the maximum retail price on rice should be sold at 98 rupees per 1 kilogram. Meanwhile, against this backdrop, the Consumer Affairs Authority yesterday gazetted the maximum retail price of two varieties of rice. White and red samba as well as white and red nadu cannot be offered or displayed for sale above the stipulated prices. Accordingly, the maximum retail price for white and red steamed or boiled samba is 98 rupees per kilogram, and that is excluding kiri samba and sudru samba. Price for white and red nadu is also 98 rupees per 1 kilogram. The annual graduation of the Chamwa International Hair and Beauty Institute took place in Colombo yesterday, along with distinguished guests including beauty experts, bridal dressers and many other subject experts. Chamwa International Hair and Beauty Institute had its 18th annual graduation at Bishop's College Auditorium yesterday. Chamwa International Hair and Beauty Institute was initiated by veteran beautician Chandani Bandara in 2002 to educate the younger generation on beauty culture and offers locally and internationally recognized certifications for its students. The graduation evening proceeded with a creation show themed cosplay, which showcased the in-depth knowledge and the creative talent of the graduating students in hairstyles, makeup and creative outlook design.
The youth is the great strength in our country. We have opened our doors for you to update your knowledge and to show your talent. If you are a talented person, you can work locally and internationally. You can go whatever the country you need to go. The avenue have been opened for the people like you. I think it's my pleasure to contribute you all for having a successful future. I assure you that I am ready to give my experience and knowledge which I gained from various countries.
Now a detailed analysis of the review on the stock performances for the past week and a stock forecast for the coming week will be brought to you by a subject expert at the First Capital Holdings.
Market continued the downtrend in this week as well amidst low turnover levels due to the festive season around the corner. Profit taking in most counters were observed as the market recorded losses on Monday, Wednesday and Thursday. Overall market remained stagnant with low turnover levels during the week. Foreign activity in the market continued to remain on the high side, primarily with the foreign selling. We expect market activity to remain dull in the coming week as well with the upcoming festive season. Overall, the bourse may remain volatile but stagnant with low turnover levels and volumes. We expect foreign activity levels also to dry up in the coming week.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 0.54 points to close at 6,044.73 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 0.45 points to close at 2,945.89. The turnover was 753 million rupees and over 43 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow with Biz Roundup. Until then, take care. Goodbye.